This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/Wondery.
Looking for your best sleep ever? Sleep Number smart beds are literally made for you. They adapt to your changing needs. So whether you're dealing with sore muscles or running hot at night, your bed automatically adjusts for optimal comfort. Want softer, firmer, cooler, warmer? With personalized firmness settings and temperature control that cools up to 20 times faster than leading competitors, you'll get the perfect sleep environment every night. Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? So you can choose your ideal comfort on either side. And now it's the Sleep Number Everything Smart Bed sale. Every smart bed and base are on sale during our Memorial Day event, up to 50% off, limited time, exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. See store or sleepnumber.com for details.
We're going to start. You got a topic?
Yes, sir.
Not really.
Let's go get him then.
At this time, only a week ago, I couldn't have been bad-mouthing Dallas Keuchel more enthusiastically.
No.
How do you explain the grand old game of baseball that he
Doesn't throw very fast either, does he?
No, and he gets Philadelphia got even
Pittsburgh.
Philadelphia when he played out there. He went an inning and a third, right? Inning and a third, 7-8 runs, whatever it was. Yesterday, 6 1/3 perfect innings. I turned it on in the fifth. And Dick Bremer told me he had a perfect game going, and I said, "You're lying, Dick. You're not telling the truth. This slop baller cannot have a perfect game going." But you never know.
I can help explain why that happened.
Well, the difference between Philadelphia and Pittsburgh is one reason.
The lineup in question had something to do with it. I was monitoring the ball game via the Pittsburgh telecast through our favorite website that we use to watch ball games, and they had some thoughts on Laz Diaz behind the plate.
They didn't like Laz's strike zone, huh?
Oh,
he gave him that on the outside corner.
Patrick, who was their leadoff hitter? Bay, the Pittsburgh leadoff hitter, decent player, right?
Yeah.
He was called out on strike 3, and you hear the color commentator for Pittsburgh go, he actually chuckled at the strike 3 call against the Pittsburgh.
Laz has been around for a long time. He's a Cuban, you know. He used to work in the international tournaments as a resident of Cuba. He is confidently horse poop.
Yes.
You know, he's bad, but he's really confident that he's great. Angel knows he's bad, but he won't admit it. But Laz thinks he's fantastic, and he's not. So,
are those your headphones?
No, they aren't. Why do I have these glasses on? By the way,
You just they're so big. I just never.
Yeah. Well, they were sitting here. Yes, right. I'm a small head.
Yes, you are.
But now you got to take what you can get.
But not me. I fold these up and put them in the briefcase.
Joe's not spending another $4 on headphones.
My headphones are expensive.
Somebody told me today that you got a couple of state fair tickets in your drawer. I don't have one. I'm not there anymore.
You got to call Roscoe.
Yeah, well, I found them on the bottom of Roscoe's drawer.
Once again, I'm going to complain about your paper. Not a word about golf.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Not a word.
You got about 5 graphs on it.
I didn't see it.
I think it's in the roundup someplace. It's in there.
I'm not seeing it. You got auto racing.
Yeah.
You got track and field. You got around the horn. Tennis, running, NFL.
Turn another page there. There's a Victor Hovland shoots 61, but maybe.
Well, Oh, yeah, I see it, Hovland.
Okay,
All right.
back
Here, but my
we
complaint
didn't
is...
exactly give a big coverage considering it's one of the most important tournaments, and the guy shot 61.
He won $3.5 million.
Yeah.
I had to look up the money, and I had to look up who makes it to Eastview, East Lake.
East Lake.
Is that this coming weekend?
Yes. Did Tyrell Hatton make
Yes.
it? He made it.
Yes.
Even though he finished bogey, double
And
bogey.
so did Spieth.
Spieth did sneak
Yeah,
in,
but
too,
they
huh?
start even. They don't even have strokes.
Right. They're at the bottom.
And Scheffler will start with at 10 under.
10 under.
And
yeah.
again, I'm going to say what I said last week. Golf has done a very poor job of making this interesting to the casual observer. I'm an intense observer, and I don't know what the hell they're doing.
Well, that's so that they tried to not confuse people by having the guy who won the last event not be the winner of the FedEx Cup.
Whatever.
So,
I don't get it.
But now they say you turn it on Friday and say, holy cow, Scotty Scheffler's 17 under.
Right.
But he's only 7 under.
That's right.
That's right.
He starts at 10 under.
10 under, yeah.
And you win that one, you get 18 mil.
Yes, they keep ponying up the price on that thing. So, God, is he a good player for a guy who can't? But he's like Rory, can't putt. Can't putt. And he hits
Roy really can't putt.
No, Rory can't putt. And but Scheffler's had like considering where he finishes every week, he's had the 4-foot yips for about 6 weeks.
I can't find this anywhere. What Hovland did yesterday on the back, 8 threes and a 4. Has anyone ever done that?
8 threes.
8 threes and a
Ever
4.
made 9. The only thing he could do is make 9 of them.
He shot 28.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's ever.
Maybe your story says something about it.
Yeah, probably not.
You would think. I mean, I don't think Tiger's ever done that. I don't think Nicklaus has ever done that.
They were raving, that's for sure. They were raving on television that this is one of the great rounds of.
And he's got to be
golf.
about as Norwegian as we are. I mean, where did he go to school? Ole Miss or something? I mean, he's been in the U.S. for a long time.
But he's, he grew up there.
Doesn't
He
even
came-
have an accent.
Came to the U.S. to play college. Hell of a guy.
Yeah.
Really good guy. He was up here when the first 3M Open was held, and Hovland, Morikawa, and Matthew Wolff were all got special invites into the tournament from Hollis, and he said that Wolff, who won, was kind of a shaky personality, but the other 2 guys were great kids, he said. And this guy, we both love him because the day after he won the tournament, the Memorial, right? He went out and carried the 36 clubs for his college buddy for 36 holes, trying to qualify for the Open.
Yep. And Wolf has disappeared. He went to live.
Yeah, he won a tournament at Live though about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, he did?
2 or 3 weeks ago. Yeah. So he was having emotional problems.
Now, no live guys can go to East Lake.
No, hell no, they're not. They're not. No.
Now, can a live guy be on the Ryder Cup?
Yes, they can because it's the PGA of America.
Yep.
Not the PGA Tour.
Oh, it's not the Tour.
The Tour. It's the PGA of America that selects the team. And I don't know. He might take Koepka. I don't know.
You think Glover will make it?
He's very popular. He might make it. Wasn't he an assistant? Wasn't he going to be the assistant captain or something?
He said he's never played in it and he wants to.
Well, let him. He's playing good, so let him go. But I don't really care because once again, I'll be rooting for Europe. I root for Europe.
Well,
because they're underdogs, and it means so much more to them than it does to us.
every player on the Europe team cut his bones in this country.
Yes, he did. But when they go home, they're playing for the dear old Europe.
Yeah.
All
right. I'm going to root for the USA.
Okay.
Where is it this year?
Paris.
Paris, that's
No,
right.
wait. Was it a Paris?
No, it's
last
been
time?
in Paris.
Was it Paris?
It's
last
in
time?
Rome.
Yes, it's in Rome. Another good town to play golf in.
It's got, what do they have, one course? The public course in Rome.
I don't think we got any Italians on the team. Gosh, I don't
Molinari, maybe. Although he hasn't had much of a career lately.
Is he Italian or Spanish?
Molinari's.
I know he's Italian.
He's Italian.
Yeah, you're right.
He had one of the great quotes in sports. When he won the U.S. Open, somebody said, well, let's get a lot of attention in Italy. And he said, I don't know, how did Ferrari do today?
Yeah, that's right.
That was a great quote.
That was a great
How did
quote.
Ferrari do today?
This is for listener Mike. The correct bell is in play because this is the 4th straight time you guys have brought up where the Ryder Cup is being held.
Rome.
Yeah, but we got it right this
I know,
time.
but he said you need a sound effect for every time Pat and Joe bring up where the Ryder Cup is on Monday Night Sports Talk.
Do it again. What's the sound effect?
That's the correct bell, though.
All right, we got it. We got it.
Because Paris I get the Olympics and the Ryder Cup mixed up. Paris is going to be the home to the.
And I think in 2028, when it's back in Chaska, Monday Night Sports Talk on location.
Yeah.
At Hazeltine.
Who's going to drive us out there and wheel us up to the...
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't even think I could make it to the tent, much less out of the tent in 5 years. I counted, God.
Oh, we'll get you out there.
Chance.
Oh, yeah.
It's there in 28?
28, right? 28.
They're coming back. First time they've come back here, and God, I don't know how long.
How are they possibly going to luck out on better weather than they had in 2018?
Wasn't that something?
Oh,
no, it was 2016.
Or 16, sorry, 2016.
They're going to get rain and
snow,
hurricanes, 70-mile-an-hour winds.
Dodger Stadium will be on an island again.
Yeah, right.
Have you seen the aerial pictures of Dodger Stadium
No,
with this storm?
Surrounded
There's a moat around it.
Really?
It looks like an island.
God, but it's up on a hill.
That's what I said earlier. And Reaver said, no, it's in a ravine.
I thought it was in the ravine.
Chavez Ravine.
Chavez Ravine is the whole.
Look, there's a hill.
They're up on the rise.
Yeah.
Chavez Ravine was all the poor Hispanic Mexican houses that they came in and ripped down so they could build Dodger Stadium.
I see.
And now it used to be a very poor neighborhood around there. I don't know if it still is. So.
It's up on a hill overlooking Los Angeles.
So basically, this turned out to be a heavy rain, right?
I'm grateful that I think it was a bit overplayed in the news. They're still having terrible rain problems.
Yeah, they're going to have the mudslides.
Yeah.
The guy up there, the guy who built the $4 million home up on the hill.
Yeah.
He's going to be down on the freeway here in about 2 weeks. So, right?
He's going to be down in the ravine.
Yes, in the ravine. I have not seen that at Dodger Stadium, though.
Here,
but they were they played, everybody out there played double headers on Saturday and got the hell out of Dodge.
Oh.
So Dodgers, meanwhile, have won like 15 in a row or something like that. They are hot. They are smoking.
I'm seeing if I can find the photo for you, Patrick.
Now, are the Twins in town tomorrow or gone?
They're in Milwaukee for 2 days.
Then they return
to
back.
play Texas. And they have, this is a stretch of 12 out of 14 home games. Mm-hmm. And the only 2 road games are in Milwaukee.
Here you go, Pat. Here's your aerial footage. I don't know if you can see that from where you're sitting. Little helicopter footage of Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, that is. It's going to be hard to get in there if they're playing tonight. They're going to be a little trouble getting in there.
I take it the Dodgers are on the road.
I
can look that up, Ray.
I hope so.
Doesn't make much difference.
Because they ain't getting in there.
How would Larry David get to Dodger Stadium now? Because I'd hate to put that big chubby hooker in a boat. That would be tough to. Of all that we've talked about it, of all his great gimmicks, that might have been the best to beat the traffic to Dodger Stadium.
I thought it was so he could use the carpool lane. Wasn't that what it was?
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
The
the Angels are hosting Cincinnati, but it looks like that game has already been postponed.
Okay.
The Dodgers are not on the schedule tonight, but they are in Cleveland to take on the hated Guardians tomorrow.
You can play that game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ain't no
the
hurricane.
second place Guardians with a record of 59 and 66.
They haven't been doing too well lately. We've now expanded our lead to 6 games, right?
Yes.
So, when you're getting Dallas Keuchel to dazzle the other team, things are going good. That's for sure.
Would you consider the Twins drawing well?
Yes,
You
I think
would.
they're pretty good. They're a couple 100,000 ahead of last year. Mm-hmm. Now, Saturday night wasn't good. It was only 23,000. But Friday they had 30 again. I don't know what they had yesterday.
25.
25 yesterday. So it's Pittsburgh, and it's, this is that last week to go to the lake and all that stuff. But I was surprised Saturday was so poor. It couldn't be because people were staying home to watch the Vikings on TV.
Dear God, I hope not.
Do they have the Vikings play at noon this coming weekend?
I believe so.
Yes, they do have.
That's a.
Well, you got to get ready. You got to get your body clock in sync.
Noon you can get there early to see nobody play.
Right. Somebody had a screenshot of the ticket prices basically a half an hour before kickoff on Saturday.
$2.
$2. You could get in for $2.
Really?
The Vikings game on Saturday.
Hell, I'd go for
And that
$2.
is still a ripoff if you've paid $2.
Do you see who came out and played a quarter last weekend?
No.
Patrick Mahomes. He
that's
played.
right. Yeah.
Our guy won't play.
No.
We got to save it. But Patrick Mahomes, the best player in the history of football, he comes out and plays a quarter.
Rodgers playing this
He
weekend.
played. Yeah, he played. I don't know. It's you drives me nuts that they'll play all these guys in a scrimmage, but then when people are paying to get in a game, they don't get to see anybody. It's
But they had a full house.
Well, they probably announced a sellout because the
The
season.
TV showed it.
Judge said he thought they had close to 50, over 50 when it started, but by the second half, she was a little. But the night kind of reminded me, heat-wise, humidity-wise, of the first ever Viking game in the Metrodome. Remember that?
I don't.
When people were, it was like 92, and we didn't have the air conditioning because the thing was going to be naturally cool.
Sure.
Remember? It was going to be like sitting.
Because you were below grade.
It was going to be sitting below. It was like being in a basement.
Right.
It was going to be like being in a basement.
It's like Rookie's house with no AC. You got the nice breeze coming in.
And when the game by the second quarter, there were 25,000 people outside fanning themselves and 10,000 people in the stadium. It was unbelievable. I was covering it and left. Went to the paper, watched the second half. It was so damn hot. It was unbelievable. But that was a scam they always ran on us, too, by the way, to keep it under $55 million.
Right.
So wait a minute. Did the Twins didn't play there before the Vikings did?
Yes, but the Twins were in '82. The Twins, first year, new stadium, the Twins drew 915,000.
Right, but they didn't understand that, hey, we probably need some. In other words, they'd already played a couple of Twins games.
Well,
They played the whole half.
That's what I'm saying. So how did they not realize that they were going to need some?
Well, didn't they ultimately end up with air conditioning?
Yes, they put it in the next year.
Yeah.
They always knew they were going to have to, but we came in under budget and on schedule. That was the big thing.
What a dump that place was. What a dump. God, that was dreadful.
I remember Sid screaming at you the first night they played the Phillies, and the Phillies came to town. Pete Rose. 2 games, Saturday and Sunday, and it's April 2nd or something, first or second. Sid screaming, "How would they would have never been able to play this game?"
And I had to keep telling him, Sid, it's April 2nd.
It's April 2nd. It's an exhibition game scheduled because you're in a new stadium. We wouldn't, because it was raining that night. It was
cold.
Sid,
they couldn't play this game outside, could they? Yeah, no, they wouldn't be.
We wouldn't say we wouldn't have the Phillies flying in here to play 2 exhibitions at Met Stadium and draw 6,000 for each game.
That's a hell of a trivia question. Who got the first ever hit in the Metrodome? Pete Rose.
Pete Rose, he was always proud of that, too.
Yep.
He always, I introduced myself to him from Minnesota. He said, I got the first hit in the Metrodome.
Yep.
He was big on history.
Oh, all kinds of that stuff.
Because wasn't it when Rodney hit the triple in the All-Star game, and he said, you're the first guy to...
First guy ever hit 2 triples in the All-Star
That's what
game
it
as he
was.
was sliding into third.
Wow.
Then
Is he ever
Rose
going to get in the
stepped
Hall
on
of
his
Fame?
face.
I don't know. They're going to have a special thing because the old Hall of Famers won't vote him in, the Veterans Committee. So I don't know why not, though.
What consequences will Mickelson face for his betting? Anything?
it can't be $1 billion.
Jeez.
It can't be
$1 billion.
$1 billion. Now, that's the money that's been exchanged, right? He hadn't lost $1 billion.
No.
Apparently, his wife is a gambling addict, too.
Really?
Yeah, his wife wasn't that the legend? She was into one of those casinos for $1 million or some damn thing. But $1 billion, he can't be $1 billion.
There's no way.
No.
Remember they went through that period of just such a touching, heartfelt story because his wife was sick.
Yeah, she had.
And she got better, and everybody thought, a lot of those guys fooled me. Like Tiger fooled me.
Oh, no, he didn't. God almighty.
Nicholson fooled me.
Tiger, no, he didn't.
He
Tiger
fooled me.
didn't fool. You thought Tiger.
No,
Options, baby, options.
I told you what fooled me. I said, one time I said, well, the story I want to read is Tiger Woods at a major, off the course. He would never let anybody do that story, and now I know why. But I always thought it would be you could bounce a dime off the bed that he made that morning. He came home, the chef had some greens, and then they had a green lettuce and stuff. And then the video coach would come in and say, okay, let's review that wedge shot on number 6. And then he'd go out in the yard and he'd practice it 400 times. No, he was chasing pancake house waitresses.
Yes, it turned out he was bouncing the 17-year-old babysitter from next door off the bed, and not a dime.
I was fooled.
Climbing through the window.
Yeah.
How come were he and Elon not sharing the same bedroom?
I don't know.
Because
that
was
was
a big house, Pat.
That was an
Big house.
arranged marriage, wasn't it?
How come we got that bedroom back there?
I don't pay no attention.
No, he saw. She was the Jesper Parnevich.
She was his date.
He and her twin.
Yeah.
She and her twin were the babysitters for
Right.
Jesper.
For Jasper.
And they're both the most. That's Tiger says Jesper, what's going on here? And Jesper lined up the date.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess they asked either twin who and Elon said yes. Elon did okay. Elon's rebound was okay, though. She had a bigger yacht than he did. So
Didn't she get remarried?
I don't know if she married the guy, but she was.
Doesn't she own an island or a country or something?
Yeah, her boyfriend.
It's more of a ravine.
I told you when I was at Louis, looking down at the yachts, that's Tiger's yacht, and that bigger yacht next to it, that's Elon's boyfriend's yacht.
Oh, boy.
A bigger one.
Those are big yachts.
Yeah. I haven't seen Louis lately.
Is everything okay? Is he doing?
He's okay, but usually I talk to him once
Probably
a week.
playing a lot of golf.
Yeah, he got the place up in Wisconsin too.
Well, I didn't know that.
Weekend place, yeah. Yeah, that's
I thought he always kept a summer place back home in the Sioux
no,
somewhere.
no. But he was on a lake up there in Wisconsin, and then he bought this old place with the stones, and it's basically an old, really rich, I think, timber guy's cabin. And I said, about 10 years ago, he brought it up, 8-10 years ago, he's put a lot of money in it. And I said, geez, Louis, what does a thing like that cost you? 1.25, he said. You don't have to pry Louis for information. 1.25. So
he's done well in the old investment business.
Oh God, yes. And he's got a barracks for all the grandkids and stuff like that. So
well,
we
Pat,
should go up there some weekend. He keeps inviting us.
I'm waiting for the phone to ring.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he'd have you up.
Oh hell,
Oh
Louis
hell
would,
yes.
yes.
Every time I talk to him, he said, "You gotta come up some weekend."
I'm going to save my visit for Florida, though. I'd rather go work.
Oh yeah, you'd love the Florida up there on the 12th floor.
I don't like that height. Maybe I better stick to the summer
You can walk
cabin.
around it's the top floor, and his balcony is half of the top floor.
Yeah, but is there a tall railing on the balcony?
Oh yeah, you're good.
Oh.
You're good. You don't have any fear of falling off.
Reminds me of when we'd used to dial up Patrick when he'd be at the Royce Estate in Florida for those hits during spring training.
He'd be out by the pool.
Well, he'd say, "I gotta shy away from the sunbathing beauties."
Yep. A lot of beauties out there.
Yeah, well, Louis, the Florida place is really nice, but what an amazing! He has his NHL career. He becomes first of all, he gets the league to agree to put 2 teams together and become one. Then he figures out the San Jose Sharks, how the hell they're going to distribute players with the North Stars. Then he leaves and starts making real money. Then he's still hustling.
Yeah. How old is Louis these days?
83, I think.
He is, huh?
But the nice thing about it, I always tell him, you don't know any difference between Louis when he's on vacation and when he's working. It's the same thing. Mm-hmm. Same thing. So what a great guy, though. What a fantastic guy.
All right, no ball game tonight, nothing.
He's the greatest thing, though, with a sports show when Louis would fill in. And then we'd go to the Perkins out on 394 and go in there afterwards, and Sid and Louis would argue about who was the most influential guy in town. That'd be great. And Louis could trump all of Sid's great stuff.
And who would typically start that conversation? Would that be you?
Well, me or Maxie would start it to get them going, to get them agitated at each other. But Sid was the easiest guy to agitate about, of course. And Maxie, I told you, underrated agitator.
Sure.
He'd always talk about the party he was at that week, some important, which was all BS. And said, Sid couldn't think of anything but why he wasn't invited to the party.
Well, that's where we got this
that's where the great sound clip.
Where's the party?
Yeah, right.
I remember that day. Name me an old Gopher who was in
Bobby
town.
Bell.
It was Bobby Bell.
Bobby Bell.
To be named to the Gopher Hall of Fame or something
like that.
And there was going to be a big, Dave Lee said was going to be a big party for him tonight. He says, what do you mean? Well, I didn't hear about that. Where's the party?
And of course, Dave, knowing that he could get him going.
He just killed it. And Dave says, it'd be a big deal. A lot of,
Everybody's
where's
gonna
the
be
party?
there.
Where's the party?
He could not
That's
answer.
all he could think about the rest of the time. How did I not get invited?
He was the easiest guy to agitate in the history of mankind. He always leapt. He never had that pause before he'd leap.
In fact, I believe he set it up by saying, "Hey, big weekend. Gophers are playing. Northwestern.
Yeah. Bobby Bell's in town.
Bobby Bell's going to the Hall of Fame. I assume, Sid, you'll be at the party this evening."
Yeah.
What party? It was his Friday morning hit on the neighbor. So.
The night before the
big gala.
Yeah, something had happened. Nothing that happened in sports could interrupt him.
Play Where's the Party?
Where's the party?
On and on and on and on. Where's the party? I want to know about the party, damn it. All righty. Well, I'm looking forward to my Monday appearance at the last ever year of Garage Logic at the fair. Get out there, ladies and gentlemen.
Could be.
And I'm going to get blamed by management for you saying that on the show.
No, you just tell them you're working with 2 uncontrollable people.
I heard it.
Firsthand.
I heard it. By the way, congratulations on the party.
That was fun.
That was the party.
That was a party.
Sid would have loved that party. That was an amazing crowd. It was. It was pretty.
You would have gone on the next taping of the highly rated sports show and said, "You see how many people Such had at his his radio show?"
I never seen a crowd like that. Nobody else could put a crowd like that in there. Oh,
that's the great line. I keep thinking of that line that Gates Elise wrote a great long story about Joe DiMaggio, and there's a quote in there where Marilyn Monroe came back from Korea and said, "Joe, you never heard such cheering." And Joe DiMaggio said, "Yes, I have."
Yes, I did.
Yes, I have.
Well, anyone who suggested at the fair that Sid they had a bigger crowd than Sid was never going to happen. Unbelievable. His greatest fair moment though had to be when he ran over the cop. What? He was trying to get to the parking in the back, and the cop was like this, and Sid just keeps going. I've never heard this. He didn't run him over. He was going like 10, but the cop, stop. He's getting to that spot no matter what.
Is this the big Cadillac? What was he driving?
That's all he drove.
That's true. That's all he drove was the Cadillac.
All he drove was the Cadillac.
The glove box full of credit cards.
Okay.
All right.
See you at the fair.
See you at the fair.
This is Ricey, and you've heard me discuss my relationship with Josh Arnold for some time. The reason I recommend that you give Josh a call is simple: trust and results. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions. As has been said through all of our relationship, past results do not guarantee future returns, and while that is true, Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. You can understand that Josh will make sure you are not paying more in fees than you are seeing in returns. Yep, that is more common than you would like to think in the investment business. Do yourself a favor and have a booking with Josh for the 48-minute free evaluation. This is a no-obligation meeting. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. You will be glad you did, and don't forget to ask him why it is 48 minutes.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Patrick Royce is a paid endorser.